Hey guys, and welcome to the HyperForce wrap-up video. Don't have coffee today, but I have lots of notes because a lot of stuff happened in the episode, kind of in the second half of it. When we see them, we get to our heroes. They're in the time stream, or rather, they're in the SPD timeline. But they're like, okay, we gotta get out and see what's going on. Before that, they tried to figure out a backstory. They said they were just going to be SPD from planet Cayenne, which was Marv's home planet, and that was going to kind of be their cover for why they were around everywhere. Although 5 points to Paulie Schrier for mentioning they should be building inspectors, because that'll just get you in anywhere with no questions asked. Smart move. So they're out searching. They've managed to make a tracker, kind of a beacon for where Joe is based on DNA and how he's using with the morphers. Unfortunately, it only tells them where he is 30 minutes in the past. So whenever they get to the place that his dot could be there, he could have already been, gone for 30 minutes. If I explained that weird. But they kind of know where he is, or rather where he was 30 minutes ago, and so begins the chase. First place they go is it's a 5-story building or higher, but they go to the 5th floor only to find this place ransacked and something missing. Now, this is where we meet a character for the episode, and he has missing something. Something was stolen. It was very expensive. Oh, the person was invisible. Invisible, right, yeah. So remember, Joe can turn invisible. Now, upon hearing this, and they knew that Joe was just there, at least there 30 minutes ago, he said someone was invisible and they took it. But once they told him that they were with SPD, the man got very, very quiet and wanted nothing to do with it. Now, mind you, at this point, like, the alarms are blaring because this was like a home invasion. And they find out that what he had that was just stolen was a proton accelerator. That is not something that you normally just leave laying around, at least I don't. The guy's name, by the way, was Adonis Washington. So SPD, the real SPD, show up and end up arresting him, which is then whenever we meet Lena Song, so Detective Song, who is going to be a recurring character throughout the episode. Also, she ends up following, there's questions, and there's a lot of like RPing of who are you, why are you here. She gets put in charge of the HyperForce Rangers, and then they get another bleep, and it's at a furniture factory. That, when they end up getting there, okay, the monster of the week is, I don't even know if I can do this justice, but he's a short little peg leg guy. He's like one mannequin. So one mannequin dressed as a pirate. He has like door knockers and arms and legs and peg fingers, a big red silk handkerchief, a long coat that looks like couch fabric, because remember, he's in a furniture store. His name is Captain Pegs. And he also has a mechanical bird who really, really didn't like Vesper. After a battle with him, he gets large, and they do not get out their Megazord right away, and I think it was a lot of, like, they didn't want to show off too much, you don't want to screw up the timeline too much. So they ended up fighting them with just a few random Zords on their own, and then Chloe stayed in her awesome Battleizer because she was doing like more damage to the big monster than Marv was doing just in his thing alone. But the Rangers are successful. They do take down Captain Pegs and the mechanical bird. Although they take down the bird first, and it totally, like, enrages Captain Pegs. And it was the thing with the patch. She kept mentioning he has a patch on his shoulder, so they, of course, aim for the patch. Ripping the patch off, which was, it made him grow big. They were like, why? Why did it was right there. Of course, they ended up aiming for it, and that was actually his Gigantify. Malika. Okay. So I kind of bypassed like the first half, I swear, of this episode because so much kind of happened as far as the Alliance and everything whenever we get to the second part. Now, after the Zord battle, I guess I should say, along with the Battleizers, that was pretty cool. So after that battle was over, the Rangers find out that, oh, you need to go to SPD headquarters. Now, alas, I had a weird internet thing and I lost like the next 10 minutes, but when I came in, they were talking to Mr. Doggy Kruger. Ah, I love SPD. I don't normally film in front of here, and I was gonna, oh, there it is. I don't normally film in front of here, but this is one of my, I have like the one thing from SPD. But Doggy Kruger, Zach portrayed Doggy Kruger, and he did such a great job, because you kind of wanted to slap him, but that's kind of the way Doggy Kruger is. It's very like, I don't know, it's just his blunt way of getting to everything. His no nonsense way of handling the Rangers was really fun. And Zach, kudos to you, man. You did a great job portraying Doggy Kruger. I wanted to slap you just as much as I love Doggy, but at the end of it, I loved you just as much. After a wonderful exchange back and forth over, you know, who's more first bigger between Doggy and the Rangers, they kind of come clean. Doggy has some security footage from where the proton accelerator was. Yeah, it was magically taken by someone who's invisible and was like pew pew, and so Joe's not looking good. They let him know, you know, there's probably a good reason for it. He's part of our team, you know, like, you be doing the same thing. We're just trying to find him. Let us go get him. Doggy agrees, and they get set off to figure out what's going on. Now, they get a blip that he is in some kind of a warehouse thing, and Detective Song comes with him. Now, she knows the area a little bit more. She's been tracking it. It's where there's some, like, mutant sympathizers. It had a lot to do with the mutant uprisings, which was also an underlying thing in this episode, but again, just want to talk about more of the ending stuff. They end up, Eddie is mistaken for a guy named Johnny, who's very in with all of them. So they manage to get into this building where this big event is going to be happening. So since they get in, Eddie, now being known as Johnny, he gets led in from this guy. And he basically was saying everything's great, everything ever since Napoleon took us in. Who's Napoleon? We're gonna find out. But he was saying that they're so happy because they finally received the piece to make the beacon. I don't know what the beacon is. I don't think we don't know what the beacon is yet. But what a coincidence. Joe probably has a proton accelerator. Joe is somewhere else, because that was the belief that did lead them to the furniture warehouse. And then Joe is at this place, and now they magically have a proton accelerator. Not looking good for you, Joe. Not looking good. So they receive this piece to make the beacon. There's a giant gong. Now they're in the back of the crowd, and someone is short is making a grand entrance. Skin purplish gray, wide mouth like a frog, long robes, cape belt, hands have illuminated orbs in them. Oh look, and he has the proton accelerator, and he said they're one step closer to the great absorption. This is the point. This is just, is this part of a thing with the Alliance? Is it not? Are they just stumbling into weird other things now that they're on the hunt for Joe? Joe could be leading them somewhere else. This could just be part of Joe's own mission that he was part of. Or maybe these people are working with the Alliance, and then maybe, geez, I don't know. I don't know. But also, I was having some internet issues last night, so I may have missed little bits, or 2 nights ago, I may have missed little bits here and there. So if anything I'm saying is actually not accurate, please let me know in it, because things may have gotten clarified and I just happened to miss that part. So he has this, the proton accelerator. They're getting ready for the great absorption. Cheer for the person who helped get us this proton accelerator. Everybody, Maxwell! Wait, Maxwell? Maxwell, I thought it was Joe. Oh, it was Joe under a different name. It's Joe. So, yeah. Yeah, crowd parts, a young man walks there, and it's Joe. Joe is now going to be the bodyguard for Napoleon. See, they were going to find Joe to tell him that he can get off of his current mission. See, I guess he'd been so deep undercover for a long time. Which we find out late during the fireside chat. Malika did clear up that Jen did not know that Joe was still alive. See, Jen put out the the APB for anybody to help find Marv. Joe just happened to be the one who answered the call. She didn't know Joe was alive either. So they basically told him, get off your mission. We need you back here to help take care of everything we're dealing with. And when they're going to tell him that, he walks out as the official bodyguard named Maxwell to Napoleon. It's like a thumbnail right there. Alright, so Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is he playing both sides? Has he gone evil? I mean, I remember in, it was a thing with Peter Sudarso, and I can't remember if it was a fireside chat or if it was a different live thing he was doing, but he was saying how he was wanting his brother, like, to have to kill him in the end, so maybe Joe's just gonna play both sides and, you know, be evil, and maybe Marv will still have to kill him. I mean, fingers crossed? This episode, I will tell you, definitely it was an average one until like the end, whenever like it just went and then it went a little nuts. So I don't know, it was after just coming off of an episode that was insane with Joe, and then we had this backstory. I don't know, something about it just really never really caught on with me until the end. I think the Zor battle took a really long time. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe you really like the episodes. I mean, come on. Every episode can't be like completely mind-blowing, because then we would lose the definition of mind-blowing. Some episodes just need to be the good base, like the mashed potatoes in your stomach. I don't know. I'm admittedly also really hungry right now. So, I think I'm just going to wrap that up for the HyperForce video. I'm filming this Thursday. My kiddo's got an eye doctor appointment. I've got to film Ranger Weekend Review and Toga Weekend Review tonight. So I got to get this wrapped up. That is where I leave you. I will see you guys. If you only are here for the HyperForce stuff, I'll see you for Tuesday's HyperForce video in the chat. And follow me on all my social medias, and I'll talk to you there. My name is Ranger Liz. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I will see you at the next video.